I have long preached the value of mastering just one price action setup at a time. So in this lesson, I'm going to discuss why I believe it's so important to do this and the profound implications it will have on your trading. I often find that traders don't fully understand how to trade their method, or that they don't really know what they are looking for in the market. They just sort of wing it, if you like. Obviously, this is very dangerous, because if you don't know what your trading method is or how to properly trade it, then basically you are just essentially gambling in the market. The point of trading, obviously, is to try and make money over a series of trades by flawlessly executing your trading edge. Now, your trading edge is essentially your entry trigger or your setup, but it's pretty hard to do that if you haven't yet mastered that particular trading edge. Let me ask you this: are you trying to trade with a combination of different methods, indicators, or various systems? Do you feel a little bit sort of overwhelmed by it all? Well, then the very first thing that you need to do is change how you think about trading strategies. Trading is not about learning as many methods or systems as possible and then combine them into some sort of hybrid holy grail trading system. Sadly, this is not going to help you at all. In fact, it will only hurt you. Trading is simply about learning an effective trading strategy or an edge, and then becoming a master of that particular trading strategy, becoming a specialist of that strategy, if you will. Then you simply look for that trading edge in the market, and since you've mastered it, you will know when it's present and you will act without any hesitation whatsoever. Trading is about jumping in the market when you have decided that all the odds are in your favor. Your trading edge is what gives you better odds at making money in the market. Now, in regards to becoming a trading specialist, that's pretty simple, really, until you have really mastered the trading edge that you are using. And I mean really mastered it, and then you won't be hitting your full potential as a trader. So therefore, it's my strong recommendation to you, to traders, that you focus only on one, for example, price action trade setup at a time until you are truly confident that you have mastered that setup. Now, that might mean that you only trade that one setup for, let's say, 6 months. It's the only one that you study. It's the only setup that you look for in the market. Once you have mastered that strategy, and in all market conditions, and you have no doubt on how to go about trading that strategy, then and only then may you move on and add another setup into your trading arsenal. This is how you become a trading specialist. Now, right now, you are probably a trading generalist, meaning you are trying to trade some, again, odd concoction of trading methods that you've learned on various websites or YouTube or groups, whatever the case may be. I'm here to tell you, you have to stop that if you want to realize your true trading potential. All you need to do is master one price action setup and trade it over and over each time it comes up in the market, with discipline and, of course, proper risk management in place. Eliminating hesitation. I find that many people don't want to put in the time to learn and master their trading method. Then, of course, when they lose money, they act confused and shocked. The problem with trading for most people is that there are no rules. There is no one, there's no boss, there's no one telling you in your face what you must do. It's entirely up to you. So human nature and habit take over, and people end up doing, at the end of the day, really, as little work as possible. This is why I often have people asking me if XYZ is a setup or not, because they didn't take the time, or haven't yet taken the time, to master their trading method. When you become a master of your trading strategy, You don't need to ask anyone anything. You don't need to ask if your edge is present or not, because you already know if it is or if it isn't present in the market. Indecision and hesitation while trading a live account is one of the fastest ways to lose money, simply because when it comes to your hard-earned money being on the line, don't you want to be as prepared as possible? Wouldn't you think that's a good idea? I sure do. I want to be as prepared as possible before I enter the market and risk my money in the market. So if you lose money in the market, it's because you didn't put the time in to really master your trading method. By mastering one setup at a time, you have no one else to blame but yourself. Now, of course, once you become a specialist in your method, and when your trading edge is present, then you just won't hesitate to enter the market. Now, this is critical because in order, once again, to realize the full power of your trading strategy, you need every occurrence of your trading edge or your setup that you see, because it needs to play out over a large enough series of trades for it to be realized to be effective or not. So you need to remove hesitation and indecision from your mind. And the way you do that is simply by mastering one trade setup at a time until you know it like the back of your hand. And in this case, in the case of my methods, that means one price action setup or strategy at a time. So here's what I strongly recommend you do. Now, I know for a fact most of you won't do this because it requires patience and it requires discipline. But for those of you who heed this lesson, I can absolutely guarantee you, if you become a specialist at a price action signal or strategy, to put it in a better way, at a time, you will take more money out of the market consistently. Now, let's go over an example of what would be considered one specific price action strategy that you could focus on until you have mastered it. Keep in mind, this is just an example, and you can come up with your own strategy if you want. This is to get you thinking and to get you on track to becoming a specialist price action trader. First of all, find your market first. Now, the very first thing you do is to pick the market that you want to trade in. I suggest sticking obviously with one of the major currency pairs or one of the more popular crosses, as they are the most liquid in the market. They have the tightest spreads and will generally behave more predictably than the more exotic pairs. Leave the exotic pairs alone. Next, zoom out of your charts to get an overall view of the longer term trend of the market and identify your support and resistance areas on the daily time frame. You can also do this on the weekly chart too, if you wish. In fact, I would recommend that you do that. After determining the trend and the overall market condition, then obviously you draw in your key support and resistance levels, or more accurately put, areas, support or resistance areas on your charts. You will then pick one particular price action setup that you want to trade until you become a Jedi master of that particular setup. You can learn all of my setups, of course, by joining me in my community, but the point is to ignore the temptations to add setups right now. You can add them later into your toolbox, into your arsenal, once you have mastered one at a time. Of course, then you determine your stop, your entry, and your exit, exercising good money management principles. Finally, trades become far too inundated with data, economic news, trading methods. They believe that more is better, and they just need to know one more thing. They need to learn one more trading method to start profiting consistently. Eventually, they realize it doesn't work. They give up in exhaustion and frustration at the end of the day. Now, I touched on this earlier, but simplifying your trading is another huge reason why you need to master just one price action setup at a time. I would even go as far as to say that you really only need to master one price action setup if you wish. Imagine sitting down your charts and that you're only going to look for one trade setup. And if it's not there, you walk away. Simple. That's your trading day done. Trading doesn't have to be complicated or confusing, nor should it be. The way that you remove confusion and complication from your trading is by taking the time, once again, to master just one price action setup at a time. You have to have the patience and the discipline to make this work, and I can almost promise you this: the specialist approach will improve your trading results. And who doesn't want that? But you have to give it time, and you have to learn to be okay with not trading. If you're only trading one market at a time and one time frame, one setup, you are not going to have a lot of setups each week. But that's part of the point of this. If you just learn when to trade and when not to trade, you can be a profitable trader. Remember, as you master one particular trade strategy at a time or setup at a time, you can then move on to another. And after a while, you may have 3 or 4 different but very specific strategies that you can look for on your charts each day. Now, in my opinion, this is the fastest route to profitable price action trading. So traders, I encourage you to become a master of just one strategy at a time. Be patient and let that strategy play out over a large enough series of trades until it has proven itself before you move on and add another strategy. Now, I know that's boring, but I also know if you practice patience and discipline and just wait for that strategy to show up in the market and then trade it over and over again until you've mastered it, till you know it like the back of your hand, so that when you look at your chart, you can see it straight away. You know where to place your stop loss, for example, based upon this particular price action strategy. You know the best way to enter the market. You know the best entry method on this particular strategy. And of course, you combine that with money management principles and at least a 1 to 2 risk to reward. You now have a very, very powerful, proven trading strategy that you can draw upon every time it shows up in the market. Only then do you add another strategy to your trading arsenal. Anyway, traders, I hope you found this very short video informative. And once again, I encourage you to become a master of one strategy at a time. Thank you, traders. Happy trading.